Hello, in this video I'll be discussing a 2022 Bracketology. This is very early. I expect a lot of things to change, but just some fun thing to do. So Gonzaga, I know they lost, but they got a whole lot of talent still on the roster and more coming their way in the 21 recruiting class. For Chet Holmgren to perhaps commit there, and I know Hunter Salas is already committed as well to replace Jalen Suggs, and still a possibility of Drew Timmy coming back as well. That would be huge for them. Baylor, they're going to lose quite a lot from this title team, but their bench was one of the best in America. I believe they'll step up. Expect big things from Matthew Meyer and Jonathan Chama this season, despite the loss of Jared Butler, Maceo T, and etc. and Davion Mitchell. So Kansas, they're going to be pretty much running it back with their stars, and most of their team should be back. And even 10th year senior Miss Lightfoot too. They've done a good job plucking a few transfers to help supplement a few losses they suffered. So I expect Kansas to be pretty competitive again, despite that blowout loss to USC. Alabama, at this point I'm just buying into Nate Oates at this point. No, they'll lose John Petty Jr. and Herb Jones, but still talent all over the place in Tuscaloosa. Another solid recruiting class headlined by J.D. Davidson. Still got Javon Quinterly, who's I expect to be very huge for them this upcoming season. Michigan, all depends on who comes back from them. Could you maybe see something like a Mike Smith return? But otherwise, they still have the number one recruiting class, and Juwan Howard has shown that he is an elite coach so far. So I don't have a whole lot of reasons to doubt, other than that they're going to be pretty young next year, but by this time next March, they should be rolling. Now UCLA, all depending on if Johnny Juzang comes back. That's going to be the key decision for them. And then also, could you maybe see a Chris Smith return? Aside from those two guys, they should return everybody else. Everybody, Hawkins, Bernard, and everyone else who was key for their Final Four run. And so they should be the favorites in the Pac-12. So Arkansas and Purdue as my last two seeds. I'm riding the must bus for this one. You know, Arkansas is on almost every transfer list. That's all pretty much he needs, and he's going to be set. They'll lose Moses Moody, etc., but still got some good pieces from the 2020 recruiting class that will be sophomores next season. Devo Davis should be huge for them next year, as well as JD Notae. Purdue, Matt Painter brought this team to a 4 seed with a bunch of freshmen on it. Lost in North Texas, but all those freshmen will be sophomores. And then with Trevion Williams also there, this team should be right up there challenging Michigan in the Big Ten. Just hope they can find some more shooting though. So 3-4 seeds, Illinois, losing to Sumu hurts, but mixing potential for Coburn to be back, and of course the 2020 recruiting class, sophomores now should be pretty important for them. Ohio State pretty much returned everybody. Hopefully they can get better defensively though. That's what's keeping me from moving them up any higher after that loss to Oral Roberts. Florida State, Leonard Hamilton is going to have this team rolling. So why doubt him in the preseason? Why not just rank him up there now? Plus, I got Caleb Mills are still going to have, despite Raekwon Gray's seemingly loss at this point, but tons of depth this year. Will be back again with the addition of Caleb Mills. They should be good. Duke should be back as well. 3 5-star prospects. A chance to add more. I think Mark Williams will be absolutely huge for the next year. Look for a big breakout from him. Houston. Seems like every year they seem to lose quite a lot from their roster, yet they're still good. So I expect them to be solid again, the American favorites. Villanova just up in the air right now with Colin Gillespie's decision waiting. West Virginia, same thing with Sean McNeil. I imagine he's going to be back though. So they could return almost everybody from last year with the subtraction of Emmett Matthews. Maryland had a couple big ads in the transfer portal. Daryl Morcell will be gone, but Qudus Wahab will be big. Look for Fats Russell to improve his efficiency though. Kentucky should be back. They got Oscar Sheveway from West Virginia. They got Kellen Grady from Davidson. They should try to get a point guard though. That would be my concern for them. St. Bonaventure, almost everybody's going to be back again. They got a couple of high major transfers to come to Olean, New York. So it should be maybe the best season in program history. Syracuse picked up that Villanova transfer, Cole Swider. There's a lot of moving pieces around that program, but the key piece obviously is Buddy Boeheim and Joe Girard and company should be back as well. Nevada, super talented, almost bid stealer last year, should be a lot better. North Carolina, Hubert Davis taking the helm there. It hurt that Walker Kessler transferred. I thought he was going to be huge next season, but Caleb Love already announced he's going to be back. Deron Sharp back as well. Soon to be back. So it should be a solid starting roster for new head coach Hubert Davis. Oklahoma State loses Cunningham, but the rest of the roster was still pretty solid. They were coming along at the end of the season. No, that definitely hurt that Oregon State game. But for most of the rest of the second half of the season, they were pretty well balanced. So if they can add another distributor, I think they should be going for next season. Drake, minus Joseph Yusufu, everyone else should be back from that large team. Not sure why they haven't gotten much love from the national media, but they should be running it back again, minus Joseph Yusufu, and add a top 100 recruit and a coach's son, DeFries. Oregon, should be headlined by Will Richardson. Look to see Frank Kipling take a big step forward. And then, they got that 5-star center, Nathan Biddle, coming in as well. So it should be a solid court next season. Arizona, moving parts, I guess, for them, but a large part of their roster should be back. Pretty talented roster at that. Virginia, not sure what to do with them. Kind of short on depth there. A couple key guys. Not necessarily key guys, but a few transfers out. But kind of a wait and see on them. UConn, same. I need. Their offense was kind of stagnant at times. We'll see how they do without Book Knight. Virginia Tech may have this team a little bit too low. They got Storm Murphy coming in, replace Jalen Cone, and most of the rest of the roster should be back. So I expect a pretty good season after a stepping stone season for Mike Young and the Hokies. Louisville, I hope my bias isn't clouding this, but should be a solid roster. Again, David Johnson should be back. Whispers that Carlick Jones could be back as well. A lot of good freshmen to supplement the bench. And hopefully Malik Williams can come back off the injury. But if all those guys are back, I don't see why they can't make the tournament. Colorado State was the second team out, followed by Louisville, who was the first team out. They returned almost everyone. Xavier, Paul Scruggs, super senior, he's going to be back. A lot of guys will be back for them. Wichita State, same deal, except they got an at-large this year. Michigan State kind of up in the air for this one. They got that Northeastern transfer to come in. Hopefully that he can do a better job of distributing the offense, as that was one of their Achilles heels last season. Auburn, Bruce Pearl, throw it out year last year. They are super talented this year. I think JT Thor will have a breakout season right there. Iowa, I know they lose Luka Garza, also lose Jack Nungy too, and Jordan Bohannon, but I feel like if Wieskamp comes back, and you got the Toussaint plus the McCaffrey brothers and a sophomore season out of Keegan Murray, I don't think they'll fall completely off the map. Tennessee, they just picked up Justin Powell, but a lot of their guys will be leaving, so kind of a middle of the road for me right now. Memphis, some of their key guys transferring, DJ Jeffries namely, but still, I think 4 or 5 starters should be back. Pretty solid recruiting class too. Florida, picked up a transfer again. Average Mike White season. St. Mary's should be back. Kusi will use his extra year to come back as a 5th-year senior. And they have a lot of young guys. It was a down year for them, but I expect them to be back in the tournament. Another year of experience for those young guys. VCU, this also depends on Bones Highland's decision. I've seen him on draft boards. So if he comes back, I will move them back up. But apart from him, if he goes, they still have some solid pieces. Butler, I think they'll get back. That's really one of the main themes. Some of the years, some of the schools you typically see in contention: Duke, Kentucky, Auburn, Butler, all had down years last year, but should be back. Butler's got a few guys using their extra years. Plus, they had a lot of injuries last year. So, get healthy, they should be better. Georgia Tech, another team has taken advantage of the extra year. Jose Alvarado and Jordan Usher will be back. And along with supplemented with the top 20 class, I don't see why they can't make the tournament again. Southern Cal, Evan Mobley is definitely going to be gone. We'll see what Isaiah Mobley does. I imagine he's going to be back, along with Drew Peterson and etc. Belmont should pretty much run it back off of a pretty solid year. No, it's a disappointing finish, but everybody should be back. And then this brings me to the Final Four at-large team, St. John's. This all depends on Champagne's decision. You know, they got some nice talent there. We'll see if they can. And they picked up that Purdue transfer to help with the bench. There's a lot of moving pieces on that bench right now. Washington State. This is my bold kind of pick here. They were solid last year, way more solid than you would think, especially with the Pac-12's dominance in the tournament. I think they finished top 80, maybe even top 70 at KenPom. Competitive and against the top Pac-12. And I think Noah Williams will be an absolute stud for them. Oregon State, Organized Thompson might be gone, but the rest of the roster is pretty solid. They got a JUCO transfer coming in, and if he produces well, I think the Beavers can be back. And then my last team, Kansas State, they picked up a few big-time transfers. They played a lot better at the end of the season. They actually played Baylor pretty well in that conference tournament, and knocked off Oklahoma, if you remember, as well, when they were in the top 10. So I expect Kansas State to make a bit of a resurgence. Really remarkable after losing to Division II Fort Hays State just a few months ago. And then so my conference winners, Buffalo, Wright State, should be really solid. And then you can see my other ones. Just want to highlight South Alabama. Got a lot of transfer talent in Grand Canyon as well. They got a couple of Arizona State transfers. Tayshawn Cherry, the former 5-star, coming there too. Oral Roberts. I've seen Max Asmus on draft boards, but if he comes back, I don't see why Oral Roberts can't make the tournament. Iona with Rick Pitino again. And that's pretty much it for that section. But just want to show you some teams I considered. LSU should be losing a pretty significant part of their roster. Still, some of these SEC teams are pretty talented, but just not enough spots. Missouri State. I think this might be one of the teams that I might regret leaving out for the Two-Bit Valley discussion. They returned pretty much everybody and the senior gauge program will be using the extra year. Wisconsin loses pretty much everybody, so it's hard to. It's a good program. I want to give them the program bump. But it's hard to put them in the tournament right now. Loyola, again, losing Krutwig a lot, and their coach is going to Oklahoma. But Drew Valentine and their culture should be maintained. So I still expect them to be solid. Loyola, Marymount, make some big moves in the transfer portal. Could be maybe be the fourth WCC team to make it. Not a usual WCC power, but would be pretty exciting to see someone else from that conference to make the tournament. The Ole Miss, BYU, if Barcello comes back, I feel like I would definitely have them in the field. Georgetown, as I said, they lose Qudus Wahab. They got that high-star big coming in. And they had some seniors on the roster that they'll lose as well. So I feel like they'll be okay. Seton Hall, good program. Marquette, pretty talented roster. DJ Carton, the freshman last year, they had a big year. I can't remember his name, but DJ Carton and him should have big years. San Diego State, just kind of a program respect. Texas, Chris Beer respect. Texas Tech, Mark Adams, program respect. See if you can get some of their tech guys out of the portal to come back to Lubbock. And if they can, I can't see why Texas Tech can't be competitive again. And Richmond, very disappointing team last year, but they had a lot of virus issues throughout the year. And they'll have some extra year seniors as well. And you can see the Biz, ACC, and Big Ten leading the way. But I'm giving the Pac-12 some respect here by giving Wazoo and Oregon State some love. And we'll see SEC with 6, Big 12, and Big East with 5. American, better year for them. I gotta imagine Wichita State and Memphis should be both be better, but the rest of that league is very scary, to be honest, especially with what's going on with Cincinnati. WCC could be 2 right now, but I could see more with BYU and Loyola Marymount. Mountain West, pretty solid this year, and next year as well, and then A10 with 2 as well. Alright, thank you for watching this video, and leave a like if you liked it, and comment as well. Thank you for watching.